everybody, welcome to week 1 of CIT 12. My name is Brian Baker. I'll be your instructor for this semester. If this is your first online course, I hope you enjoy it. It's definitely a different experience than a normal face-to-face course. One of the disadvantages of an online course is that it's often hard to find out what it is you need to be doing. And so to that end, I try to design this course as much as possible to simplify things, to kind of refine them so that you know what you need to do to succeed at any given time. These videos are one of the ways I do that. So every single week, there's going to be a weekly debrief video. You'll see it right here as soon as you click on the course link. It'll be embedded right up front, and make sure you watch it every single week. All right, it's going to be sort of my way of telling you what needs to be done that week, what's happening this week. If people are having problems, I can answer those questions here in these videos. So yeah, this should be your first stop every single week, watching the weekly debrief videos. This one may be a little bit longer than normal, but generally they're about 5 to 10 minutes. Really short, kind of YouTube style. Now, I've also designed this course in Blackboard to try and help you succeed, so you always know what you need to be doing. On the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to see a few links, all right? I try to keep things pretty simple. Announcements just takes you to this page, right? It's where you'll see the weekly debrief videos as well as any announcements that might come up during the week. But you're also going to see weekly content. If you click on that, you will see a list of folders. Each folder will have a week associated with it, like week 5, week 7, week whatever week it happens to be. In that folder is every single assignment you need to do that week. Everything you need to do, all in one place. You need to read chapter 5. It'll say reading chapter 5, so you should read that in the text. And then there'll be a lecture video. You click on that and you can hear me talk about some of the topics from that chapter. If there's a quiz, there's a link right there. Click on that, you can take the quiz. If there's a lab, it'll tell you what lab you need to be doing in my IT lab. If there's anything else, discussions, those discussion prompts will be right there. Everything you need to do in the folder. Use those folders as a checklist. Each week, just do everything in the folder, work down the folder. Once you're done, you're probably going to succeed in the class. You've done everything you need to do. As per our late policy, which you will discover when you look at this week's lecture video, you will always see 2 weeks. You will see the current week, which will be right up top, and then you'll see the previous week. That's because everything is due in the week in which you're supposed to do it. But then there's a 1 week late period. So if something's assigned in week 2, for some reason you don't get to it in week 2, you can turn it in anytime during week 3. Perfectly fine. No penalty, no points taken off, right? There's some flexibility in this class. Then when week 4 comes around, everything from week 2 disappears, no longer available. You will get a 0 for it if you haven't done it. So there is flexibility with hard deadlines. And that's to kind of emulate sort of a modern working style where you've got a lot of flexibility, a lot of decision making over how you do stuff, when you do stuff. Most of the assignments in this class, the labs, the quizzes, you can take as many times as you want. You can take them at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday. You can take them on a Saturday afternoon. You can take them whenever, as many times as you want. Do them repeatedly until you get the grade you want. And then when it disappears, it's gone forever. So you've got flexibility, you've got options, but then there's that hard deadline. So you just need to get it done by then. Again, most of this is going to be in this week's lecture video, the Syllabus Overview video. So I'll save it for there, but be sure to check that out this week. Those weekly content folders, those are going to be where the majority of your work is done. Now on the left-hand side, you're also going to see a few other links. One is to discussion boards. You don't really need those in the weekly folders for that week's discussion. I'll give you a link. You just click on that link, it'll take you to the discussion board, and there's a button to create a thread. You create a thread, write whatever it is I want you to write for that week, and then you can look through that board and find somebody else's posts and read those, and when you've found one that you think you want to respond to, you can respond to that person. Be sure you always respond to another student. It's part of the assignment. Again, that'll be in this week's video. But yeah, discussions, they'll be there, but if you ever want to go back, maybe somebody mentioned a website or a link, or they talked about something and it was like 5 weeks ago, the weekly content folder is long gone. but you want to go back to that week and reread that discussion. You can do that. Just click on the discussion link. It'll be there. You can find it. It'll be great, right? So yeah, that link's there for you. There's also a link to my IT lab. It is useless to you right now because when you click on it, it will take you immediately to the login page. It's a really quick and fast way to log into my IT lab, which is where we do all of our labs and stuff, but you don't have an account yet. You still have to register for my IT lab, which is one of your assignments for week 1. So until you do that, that link is not going to be helpful. To register, there's an actual link to just myitlab.com, and that'll be in the week 1 folder, along with an entire video showing you how to register for my IT lab, all right? So yeah, it's there, but use it later. Probably one of the most important video or links on the left-hand side of the page is My Grade. When you click on that, you will see your grade up to date, or at least, you know, I have to actually manually move stuff from my IT lab over into Blackboard, so it may be a couple weeks behind, but you know, as close as I've actually done grading. And you'll see how you're doing in the class. If you know how well you're doing in the class, it helps you to succeed because you can sort of say, hey, my grade's slipping. Why is it slipping? Oh, it's because I'm not doing very well on the quizzes. I need to spend more time doing the quizzes. Maybe, you know, I'm not doing the labs. I really need to do that. One of the negatives of an online class is that if it's out of sight, it can be out of mind, and people sort of forget about it. I once had a student who was like, why am I failing? And it's like, you haven't done anything for a month and a half. And these classes are only like 3.5 months long. And he was like, really? Has it been that long? Yeah, it's been that long. It's just so easy to forget about something when it's not in your face every single day. So as much as possible, visit this course and try to get it in your face. It will help you succeed. As for what we're doing this week, in week 1, really all of our assignments are just centered around getting used to the class. So your reading for this week, which again, click on weekly content, go to the week 1 folder, and you will see everything you need to do this week. Your first thing to do is to read the syllabus. The syllabus for any class is sort of your contract with the instructor. So definitely check that out. Print it out if you need to, just look at it on screen, but read the syllabus. Now, your lecture video for this week, which is right below it, embedded, is a syllabus overview. And I will describe in sort of more normal terms, you know, what everything is in the syllabus, what is a practical exam, how does that differ from an impractical exam, which there is no such thing as an impractical exam. Watch that video. I will admit that video is a little bit longer than they normally are. Generally, lecture videos are about 10 to 15 minutes. I try to keep them fairly short, but this one, we're covering a lot of information in the syllabus, so it's a little bit longer. But check out that video. Underneath that, you will see your discussion for this week. Your discussion is really just to get used to making discussions. It's going to be to introduce yourself to the class. So click on the little link. It'll take you to the week 1 discussion board. In the week 1 discussion board, hit create thread, and then write your response to the prompt that's right there in the week 1 folder. Your prompt today will be to give your name, where you're from, what your experience has been with technology, how you're feeling going into the class, and sort of ask, hey, is there anything you want to see covered? Is there anything that you're sort of interested in involving technology? Maybe it's smartphones or apps or something like that. You can put that information in there so we can kind of guide the conversation and guide the class around what people are interested in. So anyway, there's your response. Be sure to post your thread with your response. This week is it's a good time to get to know other people in the class. If you want to, put a picture of yourself up there. Sometimes seeing a face, connecting it with a name, that can kind of help as you go through the class to sort of feel a connection to somebody. I really wish Blackboard in those discussion threads allowed you to have your avatar up. So you could actually create a picture and associate, because even if it's not a picture of you, just having an avatar can kind of connect you to somebody else that you're writing to. Anyway, that's neither here nor there because Blackboard won't allow it. But needless to say, anything you can do to sort of create a connection is great. Part of that is going to be replying to another student. Remember, there are points in your discussions that are associated with replying to another student. So you have to make your post and then read other people's posts and find somebody to reply to and then reply to them. just continue the conversation. If they ask a question, maybe give an answer. Maybe is there something that you have something in common with them? You might want to bring that up. Whatever it is. This first week, you're just introducing yourself and kind of getting used to the system for making posts. In future, I'll have you go out and try something new. Maybe use a website or an app or something. Sort of, hey, this is kind of cool. How could I use this to sort of solve problems in my work life and my personal life? And then post your thoughts in the discussion board. But this one is just all about you, so it should be very easy. The last thing we need to do this week is to register for My IT Lab. My IT Lab is incredibly important. It's where we do our labs. It's where we do our practical exams. It's even where we take our final exam at the very end of the class. So as a result, you need to have My IT Lab. There are two ways of purchasing it. This will actually be covered in another video, but just because you may be heading out to the bookstore right after this, you can get it in the bookstore as a package deal with a paper book and a card with an access code that'll allow you access to My IT Lab. It's a little over $100. I'm not quite sure what it is this semester. I think it's about $112, I think somebody said. And so that's there. If you want to save some money, you actually don't need a paper copy of the book. My IT Lab has an electronic copy of the book built into it. Electronic copies are great. You can search them to find keywords when you're answering quiz questions. Remember, all of our quizzes are open note, open book, so you can use that to your advantage. But you can buy it directly from Pearson a little bit cheaper. There's a video in the week 1 folder showing you how to register for My IT Lab. It covers both of those methods depending on if you want to purchase from the bookstore and insert your access code. I'll tell you how to do that in that video. If you want to just purchase using a credit card or PayPal directly from Pearson, I'll show you how to do that. And there's even, in case you don't have the money right now, but you want to purchase direct here in the next couple weeks, there's even a 14-day free trial. So you can actually start doing classwork for 14 days so you don't fall behind, and then you just have to pay before the 14 days are up. So anyway, you've got some options available to you, all right? And again, there's a whole video showing you how to register for My IT Lab. Be sure to do that. Other than that, that's it for this week. Week 1, like I said, is just getting used to the class. So yeah, hopefully we have a great semester. Hopefully you're having a great time right now. Hopefully you enjoy this online class. We've got a long way to go, but it'll go by quickly. So if you have any questions, just email me, brian.baker@fresnocitycollege.edu. You'll see it everywhere. There's information in the syllabus. You can even call me, text message me. Pretty much anything you do is going to go straight to my phone anyway. So all that changes is just the protocols that get text from one place to another. So anyway, definitely do not sit there in sort of darkness, not understanding what's going on. If you have a question, ask. You definitely have permission to ask questions. Yeah, it's silly not to. Other than that, really in this week's discussion, try to get to know one another. It's hard to create lateral relationships in an online class. And the better those lateral relationships are, the more friends you have in class, the more that somebody in class knows your name, it actually leads to student success, right? It causes you to feel like, oh yeah, I'm not just accountable to myself, I'm also accountable to other people. I need to check out the discussions this week because so-and-so will be expecting me to make a reply. That sort of stuff leads to success, right? It definitely helps. So definitely be warm and friendly in the discussions this week. Hopefully you enjoy the videos. Hopefully they're helpful in guiding you to where you need to go. And yeah, if you have any questions, email me. All right? Have a great week, and I will see you online.